Hey. You know what time it is.
It's time for the Heart to Heart Journey to Unconditional Love podcast.
That's right. And I'm your host, the late bloomer. That is my co-host, Harlan Brown. And Harlan Brown, what's up? What's up?
It's all good. How are you? Let's do it.
Listen, the way we left things off the last time, we gonna go right into it. So, what's our
Okay.
topic today? What are we talking about? We're gonna
Um,
continue the series. Red flags don't turn green. And you was on a point about you know you don't know how to resolve this, but I'm telling you, you do. I'm
okay.
telling you, you got all the tools with all the podcasts that we had before. We're gonna help people today resolve this issue of the partner being emotionally detached, not showing the empathy, not giving the other person a safe space, and the understanding that they need in order to continue with the relationship. And that's a red flag.
Yeah.
And a lot of times we think red flags, it's going to blow over, it's going to turn green, where people, you have a conversation, you say something to somebody, and everything is going to get better because you feel you guys know how to, your partners, your spouse, your other significant others know how to communicate, which we think we know how to communicate until we understand that we don't know how to communicate. So let's go ahead and start off, pick up from where we left the other podcast.
Okay.
And you were
So
talking about what's that thought you had?
I was just saying that conversations, when we feel like we are good communicators, a lot of times our conversations, we're good communicators in certain things, right? Our conversation can be very good when it comes to business, logistics, sports, just foundational things. I think it's when it hits the gut, when it hits where emotions have to be, when emotions are expressed, when things are a little bit, when things hit deeper. I think that's when the shutdown comes, and that's when the breakdown comes, and that's when the safe space no longer feels safe anymore, because it's like, fix it and get over it, and move on to the next. But how do you move on to the next if you're stagnant? And um is this really, is this was this ever resolved, or could I even bring it up again because of the fact that it was supposed to be resolved the last time? And so I just think there's a lot of times where we get into situations where we do not um feel that there was, first, like I said before, I don't feel that, you don't feel the empathy, you don't feel the connection. Whereas, sometimes people feel like, oh, I'm so empathetic, I'm so this and I'm so that.
Yeah.
And you
So
could
let's
be
start
all of
there.
those
And
things,
I
but
and I
not
don't mean
to
to
that
cut.
person.
Yeah, I don't mean to cut you off, but let's start
No,
there.
no, no,
So
go ahead.
the first thing is people can't see the disconnect. Okay,
Okay.
and think about this. We had so many podcasts, and think about when we had these podcasts, it all led back to how you communicated.
Absolutely.
And this one, the red flags don't turn green. And can you put that up there? Red flags don't turn green. How it relates back to communication. So if there is a disconnect, if there is an emotionally detached thing, let's address the elephant in the room. And I'm gonna tell you who gets the brunt of the blame for this. Men are emotionally detached. Am I correct with that statement? We will always, when it comes to something that is an emotional issue that needs to be resolved in with couples, no matter if you're partnered, no matter if you're a spouse, no matter if you no matter if you're in a beginning relationship, in a relationship, it always comes down to a woman saying to a man that or a partner saying to a partner that they're emotionally detached from the situation and from what I'm feeling. And I need you to come and be attached to me so that I can feel that we're connected. Because when a partner feels emotionally detached, they don't feel a connection. And that's when you said that leads to me talking to somebody else, the other significant other talking to somebody else for their problems, bringing other people in. We talked about who's in your garden.
Yep.
You don't want to bring other people in because that other person might steal you from somebody else, or that other person might give you bad advice, and you leave that person, and that was the person you were supposed to be with, and things. It's so many stuff that happens when you bring somebody else into a relationship. That's why it's very important to stay connected with each other, or if that disconnect happens, find a way. And this is how we're going to help you find a way on this podcast. The first thing you need to do, and we're going to say this, is you need to pray.
Yeah.
So I told you, you know how to fix this, Harlan Brown. First thing we're going to do, as we say all the time, how do we start our podcast? Just let the audience know how we start our podcast.
We start the podcast with prayer.
Yeah. It's just, that's just, there's no way that we can have this platform if we don't give a prayer to God to tell him to help us along the way, because we can't do this by ourselves.
Absolutely.
So let's start there. So the first thing, when you see that disconnection not happen in the audience, we having a heart to heart with you. We're not, there's no script, there's no nothing. This is just the commonalities, the common sense part on the heart to heart journey to unconditional love. The first thing that you have to do is pray. And that's pray amongst yourself first. Tell God to give you the strength to open up so that you can hear your partner, so that you can understand your partner, so that you can just be mindful that it's not all about you, to make you selfless. And I'm going to let you chime in on that part for the audience so they can understand from your perspective, not all from my perspective, on that particular thing. Pray amongst yourself first.
I do believe that you do need to pray, because I am a big component of that. Pray, because a lot of times when you are having these conversations, or these really emotional conversations, there's sometimes that you need to ask God for clarity, and for the other person to actually hear or receive what it is that you're trying to say. Like, you don't want it to come off as, and I keep saying that, like you said, it's usually the man's fault. It's not necessarily the man who's always the person that's disconnected. I am a woman.
I know, but you know the brunt of everybody that's in conversations.
It's not always the man.
Thank you.
I'm a woman who says that I have had somebody tell me, a man tell me, that you're not even connecting. Like, no, we're not connecting, and it's cool. Like, because I can see that, and I know that, and because you brought it up, that's the topic that we should talk about. But
my content to that was, when anybody, you just having general conversations about men in general, women in general, relationships in general, they always say men are disconnected, and that's unfortunate. But I'm glad that you have to.
Men are fixers. The problem with that is because men are fixers.
We'll get to that point. 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 But go ahead and continue about the prayer for yourself, and
and pray that God can show you how it is that you can communicate with this person. Because a lot of times, like I said, we think we're great communicators. We can talk about everything under the sun. But when it comes down to our emotions, to be raw in front of somebody, to talk to somebody, and to and actually let out the things that are really, really that can be really bothering you, or something that's in a relationship that can be fixed, it's so easy to walk away and say, I can't be bothered with this because it's too difficult. It's not too difficult. It's too difficult for you to explain it. It's too difficult for you to talk about. That's what it is. So when you pray to God, ask God to show you, give you the discernment. Like, maybe this is not something that you need to talk about because this person doesn't have the capacity to deal with what you're dealing with, or even have the capacity to understand you. But at the end of the day, pray first. Pray for you, pray for your person, pray for forgiveness, and pray that you're making the right decisions when it comes to these things.
And let me give you some context with that. Prayer changes things, but it also gives you a calmness that if you're already heated about the situation, or saying, what she want to talk about now, what he want to talk about now, if you pray, God will calm. He'll calm the atmosphere, and give you that safe space, so that, because the other person is not the only person that needs a safe space, that wants to reveal and wants to have that tough conversation with you. You need a safe space too. So that praying for yourself is going to give you that. The second thing is, now you pray together
Absolutely.
as a couple. A family that prays together stays together. A couple that stays together, that prays together, stays together. You pray with each other. Now you have an atmosphere that you're building in your home, in that safe space. You're building that safe space around, because both of y'all are calm. Both of y'all are feeling what God is bringing in the atmosphere, so that you can be have mindful be mindful that you're going to respect one another when you're talking to each other, and you're going to attack it in a calm manner, and you're going to put him in the midst. You're going to make him first. I'm going to go back to this. We had a survey, and I'm going to keep going to this. Survey was, what makes a relationship work? It was communication. It was this, it was that, everything. Do you know God never came up in that at all? In that survey we did. And I'm bringing it up for this reason. You got to have God in the midst when you are attacking a difficult conversation, a difficult moment, getting emotionally connected. How do you think God works? Because you can't tangibly see him or feel him. It's an emotion. It's the feeling that you get. So having that prayer with your partner allows that atmosphere to start. So that's 1 and 2. I'm gonna let you chime in on 2, but chime in on praying with your partner and what it brings to the table, so that you can create an atmosphere for good communication.
I think it's very important to pray with your partner. I think that if you bring that element into your relationships, you would be surprised of how much conversation you'll be free to have. You will learn how to love as God loves. You will learn how to see people as God sees people. You'll learn forgiveness as God has forgiven you, and you will be able to do the same for others. You'll learn grace, and you'll love mercy, because when you pray together and you really understand how God's grace and mercy has carried you thus far, then you would understand that if we're doing this together on that same level of belief and faith and communication with each other and God, then that brings everything to a full circle. So
Full
I
circle.
am 100% on board with that part, because
Yeah.
I know that you can do so much more if you would just bring God into it.
So that's the first 2 things that you start right there off the rip. You have it created a safe environment. Now it's up to you to internally take what God has given you and you prayed to God for, to make it happen. It's in your heart now. So the only thing that you can do is to be quick to listen. If you're on the other end, your person, your significant other is bringing something to you, be quick to listen. And the key to listening is without wanting to respond. That's tough, because as that person talking, like, I didn't do that. Nope, that's not where. Nope, you put words in my mouth. You doing all this. No, just listen. Hear the person out. So that's 3 things right there to start the conversation, where it can lead to you being connected again. But I know there's more. There's more. You want to chime in on be quick to listen, slow to speak?
Yeah, definitely be quick to listen. Definitely be slow to speak, and um, be mindful. I'm gonna say this: be mindful of what the person is bringing, and if you don't have clarity in it, don't jump to the conclusion that it's a negative thing.
Now, you give each other respect. That respect factor goes a long way. Let that person talk, hear them all the way out. Don't worry about your response, because you know what you prayed about? God is going to give you that response, because it's in your heart now. And you may not believe me, but believe me, your when you pray and you ask God to give you something, He's going to give it to you. Especially if you want to really work on this relationship, you really want to have that connection with that person, and you really want to hear what your partner is saying about, hey, I have this issue. I need it to be fixed. I need it to be addressed. Let's do it together. The respect that you should give your partner by saying let's do it together should be an ultimate respect on, because that person can go and do it on their own, like a lot of us do. We like, oh, they don't listen to me anyway, so I'm gonna go talk to my boy, I'm gonna go talk to my best friend, I'm gonna go talk to a girl. Or you know what happens, you go to a bar and you give a stranger more information than you give your partner.
That's the absolute truth.
And if I'm not telling the truth, please put it in the comments, please, because that's what
That's the
happens.
absolute truth. That's the
And that's
absolute,
how a whole lot of stuff goes on, and that's how other people get in your garden. See, the
absolute.
whole idea about a relationship and it's you and them, that's why it says let no man put us under, is because it's protected. You don't let anybody in your garden. The garden is for you and your uh, significant other, your spouse, your person, your fiance, your boo. That's just between you and them. That's why a relationship is so critical, is so fragile, because that fence that you build around, if you don't build an iron fence, if you want to build a fence of straws like the Three Little Pigs, or whatever they did, it goes so back. If you want to build that type of fence, that type of house to around your relationship, you're going to get what you put the time in for. Now, yeah, you can get straws and put it up, but it don't take no time to do that. And that's how people approach relationships. They approach them like they gotta just grab some. Yeah, let me get a quick fix. Let me get this, because let me have her shut up. Let me have him shut up, and we build that. Yeah, I listened. Okay, yeah, all right, good. We good, good. But it takes time to put an iron fence up, because you gotta put it together, sturdy. You got to make sure that nothing can have it blow over. So it takes time. You're putting the time in. You're putting all of that in so that you can have that foundation, especially when you put it on God, have that foundation on God, where your relationship is going to last, and where you build that fence around it, where you don't let nobody else in your garden. I know I said a lot. I'm gonna get you chime in when you want to chime in, Olive Brown. It's been a minute. I haven't talked in a while, so I'm ready to go. So put that up one more time. Red flags don't turn green. And we're going to get to that, because we haven't even touched the surface on that. And I know our time is almost up. If I'm looking right, our time is almost up. So this is a series that we're going to have. But that's a beginning, a start to when you want to have that conversation, or your partner needs to have that conversation, because don't keep blowing it off. Your partner has to have that conversation. You have to have that conversation, because whether you believe it or not, it's unresolved for your partner, but it's really unresolved with you too. Because you know in the back of your mind, your partner wants to talk to you about something, and it weighs on you like, at some point, I'm going to get my mind ready for it. But if you just pray to God right then and there, your mind is already ready. So, Holland Brown, go ahead. Now, I can go all day. Go ahead. Go ahead.
In these conversations, I want to say this: definitely keep God in the center of it, but also understand that if somebody's bringing something to you, or you bringing something, and you're the person who's receiving this information, have empathy, understand them, sit with them, stop brushing it off, and stop thinking that it's a quick fix, because maybe some things can be a quick fix, but not all things can be a quick fix. And if somebody is coming to you because they want to have a conversation about something that's not going right, then that's clearly a sign that they cherish the relationship more than you think that they do. But when you put them in a position where you don't cherish the relationship, and they don't think that you cherish the relationship because you brush everything off, then also understand that too. You played a major part in making that, and creating an environment where serious conversations are no longer welcome, where serious conversations are no longer taken seriously. So I just want to put that out there, because we are talking about communication and being quick to listen and slow to speak. And that doesn't mean just to listen to them and have a rebuttal to fix it, but listen to them and be there, sit with that person. Because the best thing you can do for somebody is actually sit with them in their whatever they're going through in order for them to get out of it.
It's some good stuff. There's some really good stuff, and I know our time is up. And we're going to continue on this. We're going to make it a series. It wasn't supposed to be a series. We were just supposed to talk about, because we haven't even gotten to. We talked about one red flag, and which we're getting to now, on how we're going to get to it, resolve it, and have it. But we haven't even got to the nitty gritty of red flags don't turn green, because we really want y'all to understand and focus on your partner. Focus on what's going on in your relationship so that you can have a better understanding on how to navigate and where to go. Still be you. And this is without compromising you and of good nature. I don't care if you say, well, they know I'll curse them out. No, that's not who you should be. We're talking about of good nature. When you're of good nature and someone accepting you who you are of good nature, well, they need to take the bad and the good. No, shouldn't be any bad. Somebody it shouldn't be bad in a conversation. Nobody should take your bad. Why is somebody taking your bad? When you know it's bad, make it good. Period. I'm gonna leave off with that. I know our time is up as we in our podcast. Trying to do what you say?
No,
not yet. Okay. Oh yes, see? There you go. We gotta have the scripture. So the scripture today is Matthew 7:16. Can you read that for the audience, Harlan Brown?
You will know them by their fruits.
Now, I asked Harlan Brown this, and this is an off conversation. I was like, when you refer to fruits in the Bible, isn't that a good thing? Because it's the fruits of your labor. It's the fruits. Every time you refer to fruits, whatever. So you will know people by their fruits, not by anything negative. So
you know them by their sweetness. Would you like by the sweetness of a beautiful piece of fruit? You will know them by that. You will understand that. Like that's
Absolutely. And we're going to continue this conversation.
Of the fruit.
But that's your homework assignment. Understand that. Put it up there one more time, Harlan Brown. Put it up there one more time, because I know it time's out. Matthew 7:16, you will know them by their fruits. You will know the person that you're with by their fruits. You get more fruits, you know who they are. You get more, I don't know what's the antithesis of fruits. What's that? I don't know. That's our homework assignment, to bring that to you.
If you're reaching for grapes and you get prunes, then
there you go. You know what happens when you bring out the prunes. Some they sitting right in your stomach. Some they sitting right when you got to bring the prunes out. So you guys know the reference to that. But it's been great speaking with y'all. We love doing this podcast. Keep it up. Make sure you tell people about it. Hey, we giving shirts out. So if you see somebody out there and somebody's watching the podcast, just let them know, hey, you can get your shirt. If you're listening and you did get your shirt, put it in the chat. We'll make sure we get you a t-shirt, because we want to put it out there. We don't ask for subscriptions. We don't do that. We just do what we do, what God gives us, and we make it happen, and we let the chips fall where they may, because we know this podcast is greater than what we are. And I don't want to make it about us. I want to make it about what God is bringing, so that we can give you a message to help you in your relationships, because we're building relationships. We're not tearing them down, but we're giving you good information of what you could be doing in your relationship. Just an alternative way to think about it. So again, as we end our podcast, trying to do something will keep you in your same place. But when you actually do something, your place has no limitations. I am your host, Elaine Bloomer. That is my co-host, Harlan Brown. And we'll see you next week.
Next week.